Welcome, my friends, to another episode of Heart and Hustle. Visionaries, healers, movers, and shakers. People who are creating change in the world, who are creating the life of their dreams, they're living their passions, they're serving their purpose. And I get to connect with them and share them with you, which I know I've been doing now for 6 years, which I love, 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 because I love people's stories. I love to hear about their journeys and the work that they're bringing to the world. And people who are magical, who are healing, who are healers, all the things, creative artists, dancers, musicians, poets, healers. It's just, the world is so full of wonderful, exciting people. And I'm Paulette Rees-Denis, by the way. If you're new to me today, I am your lifestyle coach, your movement motivator, your passion instigator, your magic maker. And see, there goes my video back and forth. Oh, I don't want to get anybody seasick. But anyway, I'm happy you're here. Welcome, welcome. And welcome to my guest today is Lillian Moore.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so glad you're here. Oh, I love reading what you're doing in the world. And it's so fun when I first get to meet somebody because she's new to me today too. So, and
Mm.
I'm new to her. So,
Yeah.
but I love these conversations and they're improvisational and, um, it's just where we go. But what's my focus is what you're bringing to the world, how you got there, why you're doing it, how you're living your soul purpose, what you're creating, all those beautiful, juicy questions. But let me tell you a little bit about Lillian first, and then she can fill you in on more. So, on more, Lillian Moore is a trauma expert, a teacher and entrepreneur known for her surgical clarity and radical love. She supports people who want to go beyond healing to create an exceptional life. Hell yeah. Guiding them from self-sabotage into creative power. And so we both work with the same group of people. I love that. She blends somatics, nervous system work, and no fluff tools. Gotta love that. She teaches people to work with themselves and partner with their psyche, especially when life has let them down. Well, that is pretty awesome and exciting. So tell us a little bit more about you. First of all, where are you in the world?
I'm in Austin, Texas. I'm in
You're in
my little
Austin.
office nook.
I love Austin. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I've got two teenagers home from school early and yeah, we're hiding. We're hiding in here for the podcast today.
Oh, okay. That's great. And so, how long have you been doing this work?
Well, I was rescuing insects and frogs from my pool and doing Reiki on them to resuscitate them when I was about 9 years old.
Oh my God, it's so good.
And I was practicing creating little kinetic balls of energy with my hands by maybe 12,
But did
13.
you know what you were doing?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew what I was doing.
And
Well, yeah, I mean it's been a central part of my life. I think I came in wanting to do this work and I was given the perfect ingredients. And I don't think that's unique to me. I think a lot of times, not if not all the time, our what our souls come to earth for, like we create a ingredient path of educational experiences, whether maybe we would consciously choose those experiences or not, we create kind of a curriculum for ourselves to be able to live out that vision, that passion, that calling.
mm. so so obviously you started very young. And did you just always feel like you were going to step into this healing path and you were going to continue on and do all the different studies? Um,
Well, I didn't have, it's helpful to remember if we can all remember back to 30 years ago before there was, a Facebook and Instagram that was constantly pitching us coaches and I didn't have a framework for what I might do. I had child psychiatrists in my world. My biological mom is schizophrenic, so I was exposed to traditional mental health pretty intensively and rigorously. And I had a lot of spiritual exposure. I got was around sweat lodges and different healers from different traditional backgrounds. But I didn't have something to model after. So I didn't really know what I was going to do. I loved the psyche
Mm.
and I loved the psyche and I also had very low tolerance for my issues. I felt them as uncomfortable. I felt them as unnatural. Like I'm messed up already as a child. I could feel like something's
Mm-hmm.
twisted, something's not working right, something's working against me. And very at a very young age wanted to resolve it, wanted to work on myself, wanted to get past whatever it was that was holding me back or causing me pain.
Right. And so, what was your journey? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, like I said, as a child, I was taking everything I was experiencing, both the good and the bad, and there was a lot of both,
Mm-hmm.
and digesting it. I mean, I'm talking about like reading books that were written for psychiatrists working with teenage girls as a teenage girl. Like,
Yeah.
how would a psychiatrist teach another psychiatrist how to deal with me? Um,
Interesting. Yeah.
so that was always there. Whether, regardless of what I was being exposed to at a time, I always had that kind of hunger to pull apart what I was learning and apply it to me and use myself as a laboratory. And obviously, of
Oof.
course, as I grew older, what I had available to me became more sophisticated. So my undergrad, um, I studied alternatives to psychotherapy. And something that I know there's a lot of creatives listening and healers listening. Something that I always want to kind of plant the seed of is that it's not like I was given a path and I just needed to walk my path. As we invest in our passions, they get fed. So the choices that I was making developed the path. It's not like a prescribed thing. I do feel like I came in with a calling, but it was also because of the choices this way, not that way. I thought for a long time I might become a psychiatrist. And then the more I interacted with psychopharmaceuticals and learned about that stuff, I realized not my bag. Um, so the path emerged as I was going, yes, more of this, less of this. This is working, this is not working.
Yeah. Well, it's like one thing leads to another.
Exactly, exactly. And it's choiceful. It's as much kismet and grace and um yeah, magic
Mhm.
as it is choice and commitment and grit. Um, but I think the founding piece was that I was using myself as a laboratory. So my guiding light, my North Star was what is working? What is actually resolving things for me? And what is noise? What is
So, what was resolving things for you?
the heart
Right.
and soul of, and I would say this is the heart and soul of anything that works, period, in terms of resolving emotional imbalance, is attention on the wound, loving, kind attention on the wound, and engagement with the natural systems of the body that
Mm.
help us metabolize our experiences. So you think about how you might listen to a friend who's having a hard time. If you can conjure that experience for yourself and you can listen to your own wound, your own pain, your own trauma with that tenor, with that compassion, kindness, and distance
Mm.
as well, and then using the mechanisms of the body, like the breath, like movement. We use EFT a lot because the meridian system is a very sophisticated system for communication and metabolizing in the body. EMDR, simulating rapid eye movement or cross-lateral stimulation. There's a lot of things, even just going for a walk. There's a lot of things that help engage the body's, yeah, capacity to metabolize emotions. But it's the art of those three ingredients
Hmm.
that just works very reliably.
Nice. I love that. I love, I mean, there's so many tools, right? There's so many alternative methods that one can use. And, um, I think that we all have a certain calling to what works for us and how we step into it. I mean, I can remember 30 years ago, I was reading tarot cards for people and using crystals and doing body work and, stepping into healing in those modalities. And then you just continue on the path. You just continue and find what works, what doesn't work, what works for you, what you resonate with, right?
Yeah.
I love that. And we need it all. We need it all. Uh, but so do you how do you find your people?
I have been doing this for 20 years, so that's not usually my biggest obstacle at this point.
Hmm.
I would say people come to me by referral. I'm doing speaking gigs, I'm doing podcast interviews, I have a book. I trained practitioners for many years. I've done enterprise, meaning working with larger corporations. I've spoken to leaders at all these kinds of organizations. So I've had a lot of exposure. I've been blessed with that and gotten to be on panels and all kinds of things like that, that it's given me exposure. Um, the bigger obstacle has always been that people have low expectations of what's possible.
Mm.
And because it's very normal in this day and age, because of social media, for people to be making promises and using language that is different than what's being delivered.
Mm.
And I spoke with a prospective client the other day, and he said, "You are the first person that I've spoken to that actually put resolution on the table. The idea that a trauma could be all the way resolved." And for me, that's like the easiest thing. All of my practitioners that we've trained, 1 to 3 sessions for an acute trauma, that's normal. But we're sort of indoctrinated into this idea that everything has to be a process, that it's got to take years,
All right.
or
It's going to be hard.
it's going to be hard, it's going to be unpleasant, and that it's going to take a lot of different things. And it's really, sometimes we work through a trauma that you've been holding on to for 30 years and it takes 15 minutes.
Nice.
It's
I
not
love
hard.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
But that person has to be willing and open, right? And I mean, I'm sure that's part of it.
Yeah, I don't work with people. I know some practitioners do. I don't work with people who have been sent to me by somebody else. Like, I don't, sometimes you get somebody who's like, Fix my husband or fix my kid." And that's not my client.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right, right.
so I get people who are like, "I'm ready. I need
Yes,
this." And
yes. Well,
if,
that's what we all want. We want to work with people who want to do the work.
yeah, and
But
I
then it's
also
exciting.
totally, totally. And I also would say, though, I hear sometimes coaches like to say that their clients are resistant, or like they're not really ready, or they're not really going to do the work. And I feel like if a client has made the appointment, showed up, invested their time and money, that's all I need. Their resistance is part of my job. Their self-sabotage, that's what they're coming for. So there's some balance there too, that there is that foundational consent, but also recognition that of course people are going to be resistant to
Yeah.
healing, or else
That's
they
it.
would have healed already.
That's interesting because I've definitely had clients who did all that and then they didn't want to do it.
Hmm.
And they didn't want to do it. And if they don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. Yes, you can try to work around it and work through it with them and help them see those things and those reasons or whatever. But I know, especially in this day and age, people love to be their, what's the word? Psychosis. No, it's not the right word. Um, they want to be their ailment.
Mm,
And I see that so many times. It's like, you are not that. That is just
mm,
something you're dealing with right now, but it's not you, right?
mm.
Um, anyway, so I love that. And so, okay, so what I want to know about your book.
Yeah.
Do you have it right there?
No, I actually don't have a copy right now. I have it on PDF. Yeah, I wrote this book after. So I haven't really told you my full path because I
Okay,
think
tell me
it's,
more. Tell me more.
yeah, it's
Okay.
one of the chapters of my life was the founding and the creating of the curriculum for Mindlight. So Mindlight is a mental emotional training company, and we have courses for individuals. We have practitioner training, so we train coaches. We worked with enterprise, like I said, so we worked inside companies. We've trained nurses, we've trained other psychiatrists and psychotherapists, but it was a big birthing for me to create all of that curriculum, to create that comprehensive framework that could be utilized in all of these different ways for anybody who's interfacing with mental emotional content. And I finished. Like I created all of the content
Yay.
and that whole body of work, 7 years, hundreds of thousands of pages
Wow.
and
Right, in
curriculum.
7 years. Wow.
Yeah. And I felt very like, and I had maybe like a year of resting on my laurels and falling in love with my now husband and traveling to Colombia a lot and revisiting a lot of my healing work. And then my stepmom died. And my stepmom was my primary caregiver. She was the main parent in my life and also the most challenging and dynamic and we could call it curriculum giving relationship that I had. Um, and when she passed, it was it fell on me like it's like now walk it. Everything that you learned it as a child, you practiced it to heal, to recover. Then you went all the way into this depth, creating it from a very intellectual place. And you've been practicing and now here's a moment where you have kind of a project of all of the trauma associated with her and the pain of grieving and also coinciding with this page turn in my life with
Mhm.
Mindlight curriculum being complete. So it was like a moment of get complete with your past right now. Just get complete with all of it. So the book was really a way for me to help myself know what I knew and walk myself through it again.
And then by writing it down and sharing it with others, they get to experience what you did, but also acknowledge what in that reflects them too, right?
Yeah, the book is very tactical and very experiential. It is a guidebook. And my intention with the book, because I do a lot of coaching with other people and I train people and I walk people through, but most of my work has been work I've done on myself. I'm a very DIY kind of healer. And so the book was is meant to be an introduction to your psyche. And the techniques are introductions to ways to jumping off points for how to work with yourself, how to talk to yourself in a way that yourself wants to talk back.
Yeah. And so, what's the name of your book?
Treasure hunting in the underworld,
Which I love.
a
I have
guide
a
to
picture of it
healing.
over here.
Yeah,
It's a great cover. I love that.
yeah,
Treasure hunting. It's so good. I love it. I love it.
yeah.
I have a system called your map, your magic action plan, and it's like
Mm,
finding your treasure chest. So
yeah.
so cool. And are you going to write another one?
I don't know. It's not top of mind. I have a lot of other projects that are in the works, and I'm in a moment right now where I'm very mm, manifesting. I know people like to throw that word around. It means something different to different people. To me, what it means is vision, moving from vision to goals to actions to results.
Yes. Love it.
So I'm building a lot of things and I'm working a lot. Um, and I think writing a book, for me at least, that process was much more reflective, much more yen.
Mhm.
Um, I could see myself writing a book if there's like a baby on my lap versus right now where I'm more like hopping from meeting to
Well,
meeting,
what
editing.
are you manifesting? What is next for you?
Yeah, so a few things. One, I'm in an immigration process with my husband. My husband's Colombian,
Okay.
and we're in the process of getting him here and getting my stepson here. So that's a big thing that's I'm ideating on and working on. The other has to do with my business success and financial success. So I basically, from Mindlight, didn't have a private practice anymore. And so as that work tapered out, and there were a few things that were involved in that, a business partner had a baby, and so we had to do a lot of restructuring of our organization. Long story short, I had to start over. I Phoenix from the Ashes style about the same time that my book was published. So even though I've had a long and beautiful and successful career, I started over 2 years ago, and I went from, I think I had one client at the time. It was paying me $700 for one session a month, $700 a month. And in 18 months, I had was making $30,000 months. So that part was really important to me, especially because I'm a stand for healers and practitioners making real money.
Yes. Thank you.
I think
Thank you for that.
all the crazy things that people get paid out there for. This is an industry. We're in an industry that's a very expensive industry and also one that's not very effective. So people are selling things for a high price that don't do anything, that don't work. So
Mhm.
if you have something that's of real value, that makes a real difference in people's lives, it's my personal position that that should be compensated for.
Absolutely.
So because I'm also training practitioners and I'm a leader for and I'm an example for a lot of newbie practitioners coming into the space, it's really important to me that I embody that. And I'm also going to be re-enlivening Mindlight. Mindlight is going to be relaunching with our practitioner training, as well as some DIY courses and a community. I built an app. I'm a a lot of things built in the last few months. I do a lot of digital creation. I know for all the DIY healers out there, it's nice to have something in your pocket that you don't have to make an appointment for. So those are all things that I've been manifesting.
That's great. It's so exciting. And I know, and there's so many changes in social media. I mean, I'm all over social media and it's just like every day is there's like something else. Okay, what do I need to do next? What's
Mm,
next? And
yeah.
how much do I need to do? Um,
Yeah.
Especially as I step into an older age and a phase. You're much younger than I am, and so I've been around the block a few times. But I love what I do, and I love doing this, but and learning new things all the time, and how to put yourself out there in a different way. I'm doing a lot of that kind of work myself, which is also very exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, it is. And it's although it's all the same work, but sometimes it's how you view things or how you reword things and rewrite things. And I'm all about rewriting your story. That's kind of my stepping into your next chapter is my mastermind that's happening now and my women's group. And I love that idea of it doesn't matter how old or how young we are. You can always rewrite the next chapter, right? The way you want it to be. And that's so hard for women sometimes. It's like, oh, well, I'm stuck here or um, I'm comfortable. It's like life is curious. It's full of curiosity. I love that. And letting go of the past and moving into the future. Um, so, um, and I have 4 books, so I'm working on another book. That's why I asked you about your book so much. Uh, so, what else do you want to tell me?
I like what you were just speaking to about people, about women sometimes not knowing how to rewrite their stories. And we use a model called creative tension where we're looking at what our constraints are. So
Hmm.
that would be trauma, that would be limiting constructs, that would be limiting identities. And then we think about vision. And a lot of times, the power and the magnetism of our limiting constructs and our old identities and our trauma and our pain is so compelling. It obscures our capacity to vision.
Yes.
And we can be in a state where we're maybe healing just to feel better. We're we're just trying to get our head above water. But where the magic really starts to happen, where you start to pick up momentum to where healing happens really fast, is when you do have that vision in place and that you're healing in a direction. You're not just healing, circling, trying to clean up everything. You're healing the things that are specifically in the way. And then the other stuff kind of burns up in the light. And that desire, it's I always think about it like you want to forward face as much as you can. And this is biologically mutinous to be thinking about what you want. Your biology will always tell you that the tigers are more important than the berries, that the fears, the constraints, the trauma, the limiting view of yourself, that is more important to pay attention to because it might threaten your life. And that's more important, the tiger, than the berry, which is an opportunity, which is the things that are calling us forward into new possibilities, into expansion. That's
Yes.
always going to be a lower priority if there's a tiger present.
Mm-hmm.
You don't
I've
pick a
never,
berry if there's a tiger in the room, right?
I've never heard that before. I love it.
So it's great to start that healing work to retrain your brain to not always focus on the tiger, because a lot of times the tigers are made up or they happened 30 years ago.
Mhm. Exactly. Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So there's healing, but then there's redirecting our attention, redirecting our awareness. And it's a leap of faith. It's a courageous, like I said, mutinous act to say, I'm going to think about what I want. I'm going to care about what I want. I'm going to get clear on what I want. I'm going to ask myself over and over and listen with quiet, subtle, loving, friendly ears
Yeah.
to what the answer might be.
And so what do you do for yourself? Like your personal self, your personal life. How do you quiet yourself and listen? I mean, do you have a daily practice? I love talking about self-care. So, what do you do?
I don't really have a daily practice so much. What I would say is my daily practice, and I would recommend this for anyone who's interested in mindset work. I don't really recommend that people do one thing over and over again. It's a little different than the normal school of thought out there, but especially for women, I think things like tiny habits, those are or atomic habits. They're two different things. Both exist. They're proven, they're scientifically proven to be very effective and, like all things, more studied with men than they are on women. What I really encourage for my female clients to do is think about weaving things in. So, how do you do the dishes? How do you socialize? What kinds of friend dates do you create? What's your bedtime routine like? Rather than forcing yourself to exercise X amount or meditate X amount or try and do these good habits, these things that we're supposed to do, but instead weave it in.
Hmm.
How are you talking to yourself as you're doing whatever you do that makes you talk to yourself. I do Pinterest boards. I do a lot of visioning for Pinterest boards, but it's not like, oh, I haven't done my 5 minutes of vision boarding today. It's more like, ooh, I like those shoes. Let me see if I can find an image like that. And then I'm like, this is me, and this is me, and this is me, and this is my life. And I have an image that I posted on my Pinterest for 2026 that is two teenage boys on the front of a sailboat. And I have maybe 6 weeks later took a picture of my two teenage boys on a sailboat on a trip that I had not planned, that I did not have the funds set aside for, that did not exist before that. So for me, it's much more about having a diverse, I don't know, those listening, I'm doing things with my hands, connecting the dots, making it comprehensive, weaving it throughout your life, weaving self-love throughout your life, weaving your intentions throughout your life, weaving your healing throughout your life. Weave it into your cooking, weave it into your bath, weave it
Mm.
into your skincare, weave it into you go get your nails done, take your Take your financial goal out to a date to get your nails done. Take your love life, your marital, hopes and dreams or conflicts, take it on your walk with you.
Hmm.
Receive help from all the directions.
That's
That's what I do for myself.
That's really juicy. I love that. I think, tiny habits can be super great, and I'm always proponent for journaling and for meditation and for movement. I'm having also being a dancer, but changing your state. You got to
Yeah.
move your body. I think you need to get it out of your head, and you got to get it somewhere. You got to put it on the page.
Hmm.
I teach a workshop series called From the Body to the Page, and so there's definitely things that I believe really help people, whether they're daily or weekly or however they incorporate them. Um, and so, but I do love those little habits, those little daily things. But it's also like taking that one step forward. Once you take that one step, then you can take the next step, and then you build your momentum, and you change your state, and you make your magic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think looking at it like making it a way of life, making it a way of life. And the main way to make it a way of life is some looking at some foundational beliefs. I I believe that everything can be healable, and I believe that you can have and do and be anything that you want. So when it comes to hitting a specific target, I have a lot of infrastructure to support me going for that. So that's something that I would encourage everyone to consider for themselves. What are your foundational beliefs about life, about what you are, not who you are, but what you are,
Mm.
your place in the cosmos? What are those foundational supportive beliefs that would add energy and nurture the things that you want? Do you believe that you're a child of God? Do you believe that you're part of an infinite intelligence? Do you believe that you're part of this exquisite ecosystem of planet Earth? What do you believe about what you are? And then treat yourself like that in every way you can through your life. Relate to your dreams like that. Relate to your fears like that. It's really just bringing the things that you know in your bones, bringing them in, breathing them into your way
Mm.
of living.
Fantastic. It's really good. Are you hearing all that, my friends? Right there. Lots of little good, juicy moments here. It's just so good. Um, well, we should wrap it up, but anything you want to share with us?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Paulette. I really enjoyed being here. And if anybody is interested in continuing the conversation, you're welcome to join my app. It's a free resource. There's free trainings for healing and free trainings for creating great outcomes in your life. It's community.lillianevemore.com.
Which
And
I'll put in the
yeah, it's totally
as well.
free and gives you the full range of the kinds of things that my clients are up to. It's a very supportive environment.
I love that. I love so much about just connecting with people and finding your tribe too, finding the right people to connect with and the people
Yeah.
who hear you and see you and listen and um, maybe not identify per se, but acknowledge and understand
Yeah.
because we need so much of that now.
Yeah.
We need
We're
so much
definitely.
support and I do really think it's about connection. Connection um, with someone, or whether it be a coach or a therapist or a women's group or a partner, wherever you get that deep connection um,
Yeah.
and continue
Yeah.
the conversation.
Beautiful. I completely agree. And I would say that, related to beliefs and changing beliefs, your environment will have a greater impact on your beliefs than any other one thing.
Yes.
And that's our gift and also something sometimes to overcome. But if
Well,
you can put yourself in an environment that believes in what you want,
yes,
then that'll go a long way.
it's great. That's so true. Who and what you surround yourself with, uh, something to definitely take a look at. So, all right, Lillian, thank you. Thank you so much. And I love what you're doing and bringing and best of not luck, best of beautiful blessings on all your new projects.
Hmm.
And thank you everyone out in Heart and Hustle Land. Thank you for being with me again, with us, and sharing in these stories with insights and inspirations and curiosity. May you move forward with beautiful intentions for your own gorgeous life, and follow your passion, dance with your desires. Paulette Rees-Denis here, hanging out, checking out. All right, until we meet again, many blessings.